Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will focus on the non-vascular bryophytes. These fascinating and largely unnoticed plants are integral components of our diverse environment on Earth. From this lecture, students will understand about the general features of bryophytes, will know about the alternation of generation, and will also understand about the classification of bryophytes, which include hornworts, liverworts, and mosses. The term bryophyta originates from the word bryon, meaning mosses, and phyton, meaning plant. Oldest land plants on Earth and have been around for 400 million years ago. They do not have true vascular tissue and therefore they are non-vascular plant. Bryophyta are among the simplest of terrestrial plant uh, because they lack cuticle, stomata, root, stem, and leaves. Their cell wall is made up of cellulose and they are small, moisture-loving plant. Most are 2 to 5 centimeter tall or sometimes the length exceed to more than 1 meter. They have a limited growth because of absence of lignin. Bryophytes do not have true vascular tissues for support and transport of water and nutrients. They lack true roots, however, they have a leaf-like scales that contains chloroplast in which photosynthesis occurs. They lack true stems, usually small and ground-hugging. They lack true roots. They anchor themselves in the soil by root-like structures called rhizoids. All of these are land plants, mean they are terrestrial with some aquatic forms, and the sporophytes and gametophytes have different morphologies, mean heteromorphic generations. The sporophyte is depend on the gametophyte. And they are photosynthetic non-vascular plants, but water and nutrients uptake occur through the above ground gametophyte surface. Okay, although some of bryophytes carry out internal transport through conducting cells. Okay, plant body is thallus and attached to the substratum by means of hair-like structure called rhizoids. The bryophytes show alternation of generations. The haploid gametophyte alternates with diploid sporophyte. The gametophyte generation is dominant, conspicuous, and independent. Sexual reproduction share a common theme in bryophytes. Sessile female gametes mean egg are produced in archegonia, and motile male gametes, flagellated sperm, are formed in antheridia. The ovum remains in the archegonium and spermatozoids swim to it by chemotaxis. Bryophytes are also called amphibians of plant kingdom because they are terrestrial plants but require water to complete their life cycle at the time of sexual reproduction. Depend upon water for fertilization as the sperm swim in water film. If you look at the picture, the diploid sporophyte usually consists of a basal foot, an elevating seta, and a terminal sporangium, the capsule. Bryophytes occupy a wide variety of habitats, with the majority of species able to survive periods of desiccation. These plants can live in deserts, fresh water, live in open soil, in forest, and tree trunks. Okay, let's discuss about the life cycle of bryophytes, which shows a regular alternation of gametophytic and sporophytic generations. The haploid phase and is the gametophyte or sexual generation. It bears the sexual reproductive organ which produce gametes, that is anthrozoids and eggs. With the result of gametic union, a zygote is formed, which develops into a sporophyte. This is the diploid phase, mean 2N. The sporophyte produces spores, which always germinate to form gametophytes. During the formation of spores, the spore mother cells divide mitotically and haploid spores are produced. The production of spores is the beginning of gametophytic or haploid phase. Ultimately, the gametophytic union takes place and zygote is resulted. Okay, it is diploid to end. This is the beginning of the sporophytic or diploid phase. This way, the sporophyte generations intervenes between fertilization, means syngamy, and meiosis, reduction division, and gametophyte generation intervenes between mitosis and fertilization. Okay, let's further explain the alternation of generation in bryophytes where the two generations are morphologically different. This type of alternation of generation is known as heteromorphic. Okay, in case of bryophytes, the gametophyte generation is conspicuous and longer lived phase of the life cycle in comparison to that of sporophyte generation. Here, the gametophyte is quite independent, whereas the sporophyte is dependent somehow or other on the gametophyte for its nutritive supply. The gametophyte gives rise to sporophyte and sporophytes to the gametophyte, and thus there is regular alternation of generation. According to the latest classification, Bryophyta is divided into three classes: Bryopsida, which includes mosses and funaria; Hepatocopsida, which includes liverworts, rica, and markensia; Anthoceropsida, which includes hornworts and anthoceros. Okay, the first class is Hepaticum. The name Hepatocopsida comes from the word hepatic, meaning liver. The lobes of the thallus resemble the lobes of the liver. Occurrence liverworts appear as a small flat green patches attached to the ground, although they may form large masses in favorable habitats such as moist, shaded rocks, soil, tree trunk, branches, and a few even grow directly in water. Okay, and these liverworts are flowerless, spore-producing plants with the spores producing in small capsules. Typically, they are small, ranging from 2 to 20 meter wide and less than 10 centimeter long. The most familiar liverworts consist of prostrate, flattened, ribbon-like or branching structure called a thallus. These liverworts are termed as thallose liverworts, for example, Markensia. However, most liverworts produce flattened stems with overlapping scales or leaf in two or more ranks. These are called leafy liverworts or scale liverworts, as you can see in the picture. Some liverworts are capable of asexual reproduction in bryophytes in general. For example, in Rica, when the older part of the four thalli die, the younger tips become separated individuals. The gametophyte of liverworts is a simple sheet-like structure called a thallus. It is lobed and dichotomously branched. Liverwort antheridia are borne on a structure called anthridiophore. As you can see in the picture, Archigonia are born on Archigoniophore. For asexual reproduction, liverworts have a gamecops. Each gamecope disperse and grow into a new thallus. Okay, the next group is Anthoceratopsida. The common name is Hornworts. It consists of 300 species. The sporophytes of hornworts look like a small green broom handle. You can see in the picture. Its shape is unique among bryophytes. The short green gametophyte is the dominant phase of the life cycle of hornwort. Hornwood may be found worldwide, though they tend to grow only in places that are damp and humid. It may be found growing on the bark of trees, a flowerless spore-producing plant with the spores typically produce horn-like or needle-like capsules which develops from a flattish green sheath. The third class is Bryophytes, commonly known as mosses, and the body of moss is usually leafy-like. Mostly they prefer damp, shaded locations. Mosses may also asexually reproduce by budding, and they are small, soft plants and that are usually 1 to 10 centimeter tall. Some mosses are found on rocks and in arid locations, and they are mostly flowerless and seedless plants. Mosses are anchored to substrate, whether it is soil, rock, by multicellular rhizoids. Rhizoids are actually the precursor of roots. They originate from the base of the gametophyte, but are not the major root for the absorption of water and minerals. If you look at the picture, the sporophyte consists of a sporangium, capsule, a seta stalk, and a foot. The moss life cycle also follows the pattern of alternation of generation. Liverworts and mosses have long been used as a fuel in developed countries. Peat mosses are the best suited for the production of methane, and peat is likely to become an important source of fuel for production of heat, methane, or even electricity in the future. What is peat? Peat is actually a brown soil-like material characteristic of boggy consists of partly decomposed vegetable matter. Use of bryophytes in horticulture as a soil additive because of their high water holding capacity. Peat is an important soil conditioner and is commonly used for agriculture and horticulture purposes around the world. Bryophytes have also been used for greenhouse crops and ornamental plants. Bryophytes have excellent power to absorb moisture and can act as a good preservative agent. They not only help to prevent food but also help to preserve dead bodies. Most industries in France manufacture moss carpet in various sizes, and they are easy to fix along the road, lawns, playground, etc. In Sri Lanka, a wide range of eco-friendly products such as core pots, moss sticks, hanging baskets are made from the bryophytes. These tiny plants are used in the construction of houses and their furnishings. They are also used as an insect repellent when storing food. Actually, local mosses and liverworts are dried, made into fine powder that is sprinkled over grains and other goods to be stored in the container. Used as a medicinal purpose. There are many ecological importance of bryophytes. Bryophytes form a mat and prevent soil erosion. The moss stems and rhizoids bind soil particles firmly, hold large amount of water and reduce runoff. Liverworts and mosses are a good indicator of soil pH. Some bryophytes can grow in a narrow and specific range of pH, so therefore their presence can be used as an indicator of soil pH. Hope students you understood the Bryophyte lecture. If you have any question, we will discuss it in our question answer session. Thank you.